Three things. One is I think, I've been watching a lot of film on Washington, and they played really hard and really well today. And, I said this to those of you who were at media the other day. I just have so much respect for Tina Langley and the job she's doing there and the way she's going about leading that program. And I thought they played the best basketball they've played in the Big Ten for a while today, and give them all the credit for that. Secondly, to have a share of the Big Ten Conference regular season today, for the first time since 1999, and then to have a couple of alumni that were on that team here today, that's really special. And I really want to compliment these guys for really always having a sense of humility about that we walk on the shoulders of the people that came before us, and we're just really thankful to be in the position we're in, and in the #1 net conference in the country for women's basketball. It's meaningful because of the respect we have for our opponents. So just a lot there, and we have a lot we got to clean up from today. We got things we got to grow in, but I want our overall message to be like, we did something that hasn't been done here since 1999, and that's pretty darn cool. One thing for all of you, on March 1st, right after our game versus USC, the first part of the documentary on our season last year will air on Fox. Yep, they don't. So on Fox immediately following the game. Stay tuned for a lot of promotion on that. I am one of the few people that has seen the first one, and it's really amazing storytelling. And so I'm excited for you all to see it as well, and excited to see how our players are portrayed and how that season is celebrated.
For Lauren, just to follow up, winning the Big Ten regular season title, considering how last season, ended on that for you guys. Just what does that mean for you?
Yeah, I think it's super special. I'm really proud of this team. Obviously, we want to win it outright, so we're going to continue to make sure that we finish this regular season the right way. But yeah, I'm really proud of these girls. I think it just shows how hard we've been working throughout the season, and we're just going to continue to try to get better. Obviously it's great, but we have bigger things ahead that we're looking forward to, so we're just going to continue to keep our head down and keep getting better.
Gianna, there was a play in the second half when I think Charlize found you on the right wing for a three. She had 8 assists tonight, so what can you guys say about her passing in that play specifically?
Yeah, I think any shooter or person in the country wants to play with someone like Charlize. Her vision is insane. She wasn't even looking at me, but I knew she was going to pass it to me. But just playing with her IQ is super impressive, and I think I like watching her play just because of how consistent she is and how she finds people, even in the smallest spaces. So I love playing with Charlize. It's been a blast.
Gianna, there was at least one play tonight where you were just outright diving for a ball, and I know Coach Close talks a lot about passion plays. How much does that talk resonate with you and show up in your game like it did tonight?
Yeah, I think it's super important for me and for the team as a whole. I think that's just something you can control always, is being able to dive on the floor and try to get those extra possessions for your team. So I think I just didn't love how I was in the past games with it, so I just tried to focus on it a little bit more this game.
Anything else for our student athlete?
For either of you, Coach just talked a lot about her 3 sort of points of emphasis, being taking care of the ball, passion plays, and being selfless. Do you guys think you took a step forward in those 3 departments tonight, especially it being towards the end of the regular season?
I think we can keep getting better at that. I thought I think passion plays, I thought towards the second half we did a lot better with that. I think transition defense is something that we're really going to focus on, just making sure that defensively we're continuing to communicate, and it doesn't really, we always talk about it doesn't matter who our matchups are, we just need to have each other's back in that, and take away threes is going to be a really big emphasis moving forward. So we're just going to continue to keep working on that, but we're getting better. We've gotten a lot better.
For Lauren, another really good defensive game, I think, for your sister, Sienna.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you think of her as your sister on the court, but just what has it been like to see her, come back from that injury at the start of the year and have the impact that she's having now?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm very happy for her. I think coming back from an injury, it really takes away some of your confidence. And I think it's really been cool to see her grow that confidence back and just be a lot more comfortable out there and like demanding the ball. And I love to see it. I'm like, yep, okay, yell at me if you want the ball, like period. I love to see it. But yeah, she just looks so much better out there, and I'm just really, really proud of her. She just continues to work hard every single day in practice and do the right things. So really proud of her.
So, Lauren, a little off note. How fun was it to make that Allstate commercial with your mom and your sister?
Yeah, that was so cool. I mean, she's like the star of the show. She's pretty much a celebrity now. Yeah, so it was really cool experience for her. I think just to like be in front of a camera. She's never done anything like that before. So for everyone back home in Colorado, like watching us on TV is just like crazy. So yeah, my mom's the best. Yeah, she's amazing.
Lauren, you talked about on the Bruin Insider show about the 2K thing where you guys were like scanned outside the practice facility. What was that experience like for both of you? Like when they were scanning you guys and for your characters? Yeah,
we'd never done anything like that before, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, we're just pretty much in like this 2K truck, and they just sit us down and scan everything pretty much. But I think they did a really good job, and it's just really cool to see like all of our features like pop out on the animated. Like that's really weird for me to see.
Yesterday she was like, yeah, that's my nose.
Yeah, they even got my angry face down. I was like, that's a little scary. But no, I think it's just super cool for like college athletics to get an opportunity like that. I mean, it's never really been done before, so super cool. Just really proud of like the growth of the women's game and how they're continuing to recognize athletes who have made such a big difference. So yeah, I'm just excited to see what the future holds for sure.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Good job.
Hey, Cori.
Hello there. Hi,
I'm
Sabrina.
going to try to get out in front of all the emotion on Sunday.
Yeah.
You obviously have a very deep senior class, but I want to talk about Kiki a little bit. I know she said she wanted to come here to do something that hadn't been done here before. And just thinking about all you guys have gone through these 4 years, how do you sort of assess that?
I think she's done exactly what she came here to do. She came to blaze a new trail. She came to raise the standard of the program. She came to have a byproduct of that be accomplishing things from a championship standpoint that have not been done here ever, if not for a very long time. And of course, she would say we're not done yet. But I just keep talking to her about, with what you've done, the journey is way more important than how the destination ends up. And I think the better she'll play down the stretch is the more she surrenders the outcome and enjoys being present in the process that really she's helped create. And Gabs too, and there's so many of them. But our core group has really committed. And I always say you can't have a committed group unless you have a connected group. And, that really started with Kiki's commitment and in her roommate Gabs and how that's trickled down to everybody else that's joined our program in the meantime. And, I just am so thankful. The talent, Elise and Krista Blanc, who were doing the broadcasting today, were asking me about just what this has been like. And if I'm being really authentic, last year was heavy and there was a lot of difficulty things that were happening. This year I would describe it as joy. It has been really fun to be a part of their process and to just coach them in the day-to-day. And I told them that in the locker room, like, I don't want to miss a moment, you guys. I don't want to miss any point of growth. I don't want to miss a moment of celebrating each other. I don't want to miss a moment of opportunity to get better. They really have given me so much, and I'm so grateful for all the seniors in different ways, but obviously, the ones that have really stuck it out the entire time, there's a special loyalty to that I will never forget.
I wanted to ask also about Kiki. It just seems like every game down the stretch, if you guys are up 20 or it's a tight game, that she's playing with so much aggression, and one of the most aggressive ones on the court. How just important and influential is that for her as a leader, and also just having that, and, people learning off of that?
Well, I think the reality is that you win with guard play in March, and the defense starts with them. the offense starts with them and their facilitation of how everybody plays. And I think one of the things that's been really fun to watch in Kiki, and I also have to give credit to our former associate head coach, Shannon LaBeouf, in this, but Kiki's a really soft-spoken person. And but it doesn't mean her influence has to be soft. It's about finding, leadership is just about influence. It's going on a journey and making sure people are coming with you. And to watch Kiki find the power in her voice, even when it's a soft voice, it can still be a powerful influence. And I feel really good about our guard play and how that determines how far we go, because you just don't win in March without elite guard play. And I think we have pretty elite guards.
And then, I guess, to stay on topic a little bit, I mean, a big portion of the team are seniors, but you have some really talented freshmen as well that you've been very confident about. I mean, just where do you see the future of the program going with their hands?
Well, Amanda and, Sienna and Lena and Crizzy, I mean, to watch their work has been remarkable. If anyone's, to come in, and today, Amanda's working with Coach Ash earlier today, just trying to get better on some of her explosive movements. And she's in the weight room today on game day and making sure she's getting better and pushing through. And as a coach, I see that and I go, that's going to pay off. Right now we've got 6 elite seniors, but that work, I always say, the work done in the dark always gets revealed in the light. And I'm sure she would have liked it to have been revealed earlier. She's really paid the price. But sometimes you don't know how long, but if you stay the course, you will always be rewarded for that. And so, but all of those guys, we're gonna be very intentional and proactive. We love our freshman Samto from that's coming to us from Spain. I think we'll have another one that I can't talk about yet, hopefully down the road. But we're gonna be very proactive in the portal. But it's gonna be pieces that fit together to make the most complete puzzle. And I feel really good about the pieces that we're building around that are gonna be coming back next year. And Tamia, also, we didn't even talk about that. I mean, that's obviously goes without saying as well. Sorry, I should have said that. But, I mean, she's a proven person in deep postseason runs, and she will be our leadership anchor next year as well. Sorry.
Back to the seniors for a second. Just the ones who transferred in later on, what does the senior night mean for them as well?
Yeah, I don't think it means any less for a Charlize Ledger-Walker than it does an Angela Dugalich or, right on down the line. I think the bottom line is that they are really committed to our mission. And I'm so thankful, too. The parents have been coming in and doing some filming for us for some things that we're doing for recruiting. I am so thankful for them. But I don't care if it's 1 year, 2 years, 4 years. They have been completely sold out for the mission of our program. And I am just so grateful for all of them. And we would not be where we are without our transfers, And so, we have 5 of them. That's a whole lot. And they've all been so amazing. And it was interesting today. We were teasing Angela because we didn't know that we were going to get 4 years after she transferred, let alone 5. And when she came to us from Oregon. But we put her on the hot seat today, and just to celebrate their growth. And it doesn't matter how long. That is the best part of coaching for me, is to be able to watch the tools, the impact, the way that they've added to their toolbox on the court, but that even pales in comparison to the tools that they've added to their character off the court. And that's the best part of coaching.
Y'all ended 14 for 16 from the line. I've been shooting pretty well from there for the past couple of games. How much are you harping on that entering March and tournament play? Yeah,
I think when you get to the charity stripe, you better hit them, right? And so every day in practice, we hold them accountable to 80% or better as a team. Nobody leaves the gym before they hit 10 free throws in a row. So it's a big piece, and especially the way that we play through the paint. We hope to put pressure on people in that area, and I think that we can get to the foul line probably even more with a little bit better decision making. But I'm very confident in this team of that every single person, if they get fouled, they're going to step up and hit their free throws.
So Cori, really quick, earlier you were talking about how building that culture, bringing in not just the talented players, but what's the process to go through to evaluate those players to make sure they're a culture fit?
Yeah,
And
you know.
you've established a great culture here.
Thank you for saying that. We take a lot of pride in that. You know, culture is just a series of consistent behaviors. You know, culture is not a saying you put on the wall or something that sounds good in the media. It only has depth to it if it is backed up by a series of consistent behaviors lived out according to the mission of our program. And I think we have to have clarity of the vision, and then you have to seek alignment, not talent. And, you know, talent we always say that talent is the floor and our character and our commitment is the ceiling. And so for us, it's really about finding the right fit. And I don't care how many stars are next to their name. I don't care, you know, what they've done in the past. I care that there's alignment. And if there's alignment, then usually there's going to be something that comes together that's going to be better together cumulatively than anyone could ever do individually. And that's the kind of person we want to be a part of our program.
Coach, towards the end of the first half, I think you were getting a little bit angry with how the team was playing. And I think there was one play where Amanda underthrew the pass to Lauren on the inbounds play. Just what did you see in those last few minutes just that made you a little frustrated?
You know, I don't want to pick on Amanda because that was the last part of it.
Yeah.
It's a really easy thing. We turned the ball over 2 times in the first 15 minutes of the half. And then we turned the ball over 4 times in the last 5 minutes of the half. Our passion play is the same. I think we had 13 passion plays. We had 33, I think, we had 33 for the half of passion plays. 20 of those were in the first quarter. We had 13 in the second quarter, and 10 of those 13 were in the first 5 minutes. So on all categories, we just lost focus. And, you know, and I think I've been watching a lot of basketball here this last week. I think I hear that out of every coach. We all know what's coming. And I think the reality of the feeling of urgency that every possession we got to be competing to win. You're not going to win every possession, but you have to have a focus on the controllables. So, you know, I don't mind some turnovers, aggressive ones that maybe don't work out. But in terms of what we're doing in terms of like really going all out in terms of controlling the things under our control, you've got to not have careless turnovers. You've got to control rebounds. You've got to control your attitude and effort. And I didn't think in the last 5 minutes of that second quarter we did that.
Right at the beginning of the game especially, your team was forcing a lot of either shot clock violations for Washington or a lot of shot clock pressure. What did you see just from the defense in that regard, and if that stayed kind of consistent throughout the game or not?
We told the team, I didn't necessarily think we played well or sometimes on balance, but we played hard, and that has to always be the foundation. They played hard, and I love that you guys called out, you know, Gianna's dives on the floor, and you know, I think those hustle plays. You know, actually, one of the things I thought Amanda did really well is she got several deflections and using her length in that way defensively, and I thought that was really good. You know, there's just always that quest. You know, you try to celebrate what you want to see more of, and the growth and celebrate the growth that you see, and then still have an edge about you for the possessions you gave away, and the humility to go, yeah, coach me hard, because I don't want to give any of those away. So I want to get 2 possessions better this week. I want to respond. Show me what I need to do. You know, hold me accountable in practice. That's the kind of sort of balance we're trying to find. You know, I think I've shared with you guys before, at the top of every single practice plan that we have, there are 2 words that I'm responsible for: the right balance of struggle and joy. I don't think anybody, you know, grows to their maximum level when it's just joy and it's just loosey-goosey. But I also don't think everybody, you know, if you're just demeaned and it's just laborious all the time and you're struggling all the time, I don't think you hit your maximum growth. I'm trying, and actually my friend Julie Brown that's here, over here, it's taught me a phrase of being in the healthy tension. And I'm always trying to find a healthy tension between struggle and joy so that eventually it leads to maximum growth.
Hi, Coach Close. I just, first off, just want to say congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I'm having a great time watching this team. Has me on the edge of
me
my
too.
seat all the time. But just one thing I noticed. The first quarter was an offensive explosion. You guys took the lead by 10, but then for the rest of the game, the offense kind of remained stagnant, if that's the word I want to use. But what was the objective going through the rest of the game? Was it to extend the lead? Was it to just keep up with them?
Always. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we ever. I think sometimes what can happen is I think we stop playing connected basketball. I think we're really focused on what are we trying to accomplish offensively as a team. And I think we're pretty clear on that in the first quarter, and I think you see that. But it's really easy to lose sight of that. And with really talented individual one-on-one players, the temptation is going to be that, I can get this one. And it's never a selfish thing on this team. It's never something like that. But it just can be a situation of like, how instead of playing teamwork connected basketball, it's easy to get lulled into like, I'm going to put my head down and go play one-on-one basketball. And it isn't to get mine, but it gets away from how do we create the easiest shot possible by doing things together. And I think that's the kind of basketball teams are too good in the NCAA tournament for you to be able to just put your head down and go most of the time. There's going to force a rotation. Somebody's going to peel off. There's going to be something that happens that way. And so, I think that's something we do all the time, that we show, okay, what happened in those periods of time? What does connected basketball look like? And then here's what it looks like when we do that. It's usually less dribbles east to west. It's usually more screening action. We're better. This team is built on being better off the pass and off the screen than it is just putting your head down and going downhill. Now, if you make the defense play and move, now those straight line drives, those are good dribbles. But when we play around with the ball or we go before we read the space, that's where we get ourselves in trouble, and that's what you saw. But credit Washington too. Like, I thought all their switches and how they ran underneath us, I think they deserve credit too for how they forced some things as well. But we've got to find our discipline. What I told them in the locker room is we've got to adjust quicker. And like they were really trying to pick on our fives and running pin downs and off ball actions to get their 5-player open on the perimeter for 3-point shots. And we hadn't seen that as much, but we got to adjust quicker. Every game's going to give you opportunities to make those adjustments, and we didn't quite make those adjustments quick enough.
You mentioned how guard play wins in March, but y'all had 48 points in the paint today. How do you see that transferring into Big Ten and NCAA tournament?
Well, when I say guard play wins, I just think that facilitates having points in the paint. It's not that guard play has to go score. It's that guard play has to facilitate us playing closest to our best version of our identity. And so our identity is always going to be playing through the paint, not only just off the pass and post-ups, but also, and I thought Angela Dugalich, we haven't mentioned her yet, but I thought she was a real spark when she came in with all of her switches, the way she was slipping screens and the way that she was at the top of the press getting deflections. I thought she was really good on that. But I don't think it's that the guard play is individual plays. It's that guards are responsible for us playing closest to the best version of ourselves. Thank you all for being here. You know how much I appreciate you guys on a Thursday night, and hopefully I'll see you all on Sunday. Thank you.